Hello everybody, welcome to the Sky Diary for February 2021. Let's have a look what we got in store. Don't forget, if you find my Sky Diary useful, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, if you like the video, like it as well. Thank you very much. Okay, right, let's see what's going on. Right, the Virtual Astronomy Club, we're trying to keep astronomy sociable during these challenging times and beyond, hopefully. It's meeting now on the first and the third Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. So this month's meetings are on the 2nd of February and the 16th of February, and all details on how to join in. Don't need any knowledge, qualifications or anything to join in. Everybody's welcome. So just go to the website virtual-astro-club.com. All the details on how to join in are there. Everybody's very welcome, so come along. Okay, all the dates that I'm going to show you in the Sky Diary are available on a Team Up calendar, and that's at stargazing.co.uk/diary, and it's all on Team Up here. And you can see I've now split it into three different diaries. There's one which is the Sky Diary, so that's all the events in the sky that you can see if you go and look out. There's space activities and events, so that is anything to do with astronomy that may be going on that you can join in, perhaps virtually or even physically once they start to get back together. And then the black one is space dates, so that's like anniversaries of missions, etc., etc., and anything of note that I'm gradually populating and getting in there, so they should pop up on the diary. And you can download the Team Up app and carry that around with you wherever you go, and it'll always be updated as I update things. And if there are any mistakes on there, I'm only human. Okay, so let's have a look at the stars for the month. So this is the middle of the month, around about 10 o'clock at night. So this is looking towards the north. We've got the Circumpolar Constellations for the latitude of the UK, more or less. And of course, these are the constellations that never set, so we always see those. So they continually circle around the pole, and they're always above the horizon. Of course, we've got Ursa Major and the 7 stars of the Plough up here. And the other constellations are Ursa Minor with Polaris just here, which is just within half a degree of the North Celestial Pole. And in between them, you've got the body of the dragon, Draco the dragon, in between the two bears. Also got in the opposite direction to Ursa Major, on the other side of the little bear, Ursa Minor, is the W or M shaped Cassiopeia over here. And then you've got Cepheus, which I always think looks like a child's drawing of a house. Here's the roof, etc., etc. So that's what the constellations look like towards the north. 10 o'clock at night, middle of the month. If you look towards the south, of course, these are the stars that are at the highest. They will set at some point, but these are the ones at the highest at that time of the night. And of course, it's dominated still by Orion. It's a little bit past south, so it's starting to get low a bit later in the evening, but that's the most dominant constellation during the winter. Also got Gemini here, not quite as distinct, but the two twins holding hands side by side. And Canis Major over here with the bright first magnitude star, Sirius, shining really, really brightly in the sky, flashing lots of colours at you. It is a bright white star, and the colours are caused by our atmosphere. And of course, this area of sky is fantastic because you've got the Milky Way going across here, and there's lots and lots of open star clusters and nebulae to capture all in this area of sky, which is fantastic. So you've got Taurus up here, the bull. You've got Lepus, the hare, little constellation that not many people know, just crouching below Orion's feet. You've got Eridanus, the river, which meanders down into the southern hemisphere, so we don't see much of the river from here. And then Monoceros, the unicorn, just over here in this wonderful area of the Milky Way, where you've got things like the Rosette Nebula and the Christmas tree cluster all nestled in there. So it's worthwhile just getting a telescope, even the small telescope, and hunting up and down there for all these star clusters within the Milky Way there. And then you've got Cancer over here, the crab. And then if we look towards the west, these are the constellations that are starting to set. These are well past our best. So you can see down here you've got Andromeda. Pegasus has already disappeared more or less at that time of night, 10 o'clock at night, around mid-month. And you can see Andromeda is starting to follow as well. Pisces almost disappeared as well, and Cetus, the whale or the sea monster, is disappearing too. We've got Aries here, getting lower at that time of night. You also got Mars nestled in Aries as well, but we'll talk about that in a little while. Got Perseus over here starting to get low in the northwestern sky, and then Taurus, the bull, over here as well. And you've got Auriga, the charioteer, up here. And again, this is a wonderful part of the Milky Way where there's lots and lots of nebulae and clusters, and even a small telescope, just go hunting around there for really, really nice views. So here's the constellations looking towards the east. So these are the constellations that are starting to rise. So these are coming into view after being invisible for quite a while. Of course, we've got Ursa Major. We've already discussed that. That's now getting higher in the northeast. And then below Ursa Major, you've got Leo, the sickle of Leo there, backwards question mark. And then below there you've got Hydra. Not many people know Hydra because it's quite an indistinct constellation, but it is actually quite a bigger constellation. You've got Coma Berenices, and then when you see Leo and Coma Berenices coming into view, you know you're going to see some nice galaxies. Because this is the realm of the galaxies now coming into wonderful view, along with Virgo as well, which is just starting to rise at that time of night. So leave it a bit later in the evening or get up in the early hours of the morning, and this area of sky is really, really high. We're looking in at a window out of the Milky Way because there aren't many stars in front of us. So we're seeing all those galaxies way, way out in the universe. So well worth getting up and having a look at those, because by the time they come into real view in April and May time, the skies are going to be a bit brighter. So get out there in the early hours of the morning and see if you can see some of these wonderful galaxies nestled within the realms of the galaxy here. And then there's Crater just starting to rise, Crater the Cup. And then over here you've got Bootes with the bright orangey red star Arcturus just down here starting to rise. Okay, our view of the sky is hampered if you're interested in deep sky objects by the moon throughout the month. So these are the phases of the moon as seen this month. We've got last quarter is on the 4th of February. New moon is on the 11th. So it's around about the 2nd to the 3rd week of the month. That's going to be great for deep sky objects when the moon's going to be well out of the way. First quarter is on the 19th, and then it's full towards the end of the month on the 27th. And you can see February fits very nicely in a box this month. So that's quite pleasing for those people who like things to be arranged really, really nicely. Okay, the planets. We can talk about the planets, just mention where they are. I'll talk about a couple of them in a little bit more detail. Mercury, it may be spotted at the very beginning of the month, but I'll tell you about that in a moment. Venus is really too close to the sun. It's nestled in the twilight in the morning sky at the moment, so it's going to be quite difficult to spot because it rises not too long before the sun. Mars visible in the evening to the early morning, so I'll tell you about where Mars is going to be, although it's not anywhere near like it was. Jupiter, way too close to the sun to be seen at the moment, and Saturn also too close to the sun to be seen, but they are starting to creep out into the morning sky. So over the next couple of months we should start to see them appear over in the east before sunrise. Uranus is visible in Aries, not too far from Mars because Mars passed it during January. And then Neptune, that's also slipping into the evening twilight, so we've really lost Neptune for quite a while now. Okay, I mentioned you might be able to see Mercury. It might just be spotted after sunset on the 1st, but after that it's getting a bit too close to the twilight to be seen. So there it is, just above the southwestern horizon, just here, but it's going to be really difficult to spot in the twilight sky. Of course, it is in Aquarius, but you're not going to see any of the stars in Aquarius because the sky is just going to be way too bright for you to be able to see them. So it's going to be a lone star just about visible in the twilight, really, really low in the southwestern sky at about 5:15 in the evening on the 1st. So we're going to talk about Uranus, the other planet that's visible. This is the view on the 15th, about 7:15 in the evening. And this is the southwestern sky. So the easiest way to find it is to find Mars, because Mars isn't too far away. And Uranus is just here. So that's where Uranus is at the moment. They're both in the constellation of Aries. And the pattern of stars that we familiarise with Aries is here. And below there is Pisces, Andromeda, and so it's getting a bit lower as the night progresses, and so will Mars as well. Mars will get a bit lower as it progresses, but it's going to be moving in that direction as well. So I'll show you where that's going to be over the next few months. Cetus and Triangulum as well, just so you can get your bearings where Uranus is in relation to those stars. So here's where Mars was on the 1st of January. It's at the beginning of this red line, so that shows the path of Mars across the sky over the next 6 months or so. So from the 1st, it moved here. On the 21st of January, it went past Uranus, because Uranus, being a lot further out in the solar system, is moving a lot slower than Mars. So Mars overtakes it in the sky. 1st of February, so the beginning of this month, it's here. And then the 1st of March, it's starting to approach the Pleiades star cluster. Here are the Pleiades and the Hyades in Taurus the Bull. And then during March, it passes through the middle of the Pleiades and the Hyades. And on the 1st of April, you find it within the horns of the Bull. So that should be quite a nice photographic opportunity to see the red star of Mars showing between the horns of the Bull and passing through Pleiades and Hyades as well. So 26th and the 27th of May, it's going to be very close to Messier 35, the wonderful open cluster in Gemini. But the sun is going to be there. Okay, so the sun will have moved along this path and it will be about in that position. So this is going to be really low in the twilight. So it's going to be quite difficult to see that, but give it a go. You never know. And then 1st of June, it moves just below Castor and Pollux, the two brightest stars in Gemini. And then 8th of October is when it finally reaches solar conjunction. So it's going to take a good few months to actually disappear into the twilight and for the sun to be able to catch it up, because Mars is moving so fast against the sky. It takes a long time to catch it up, so it reaches conjunction. And then the next opposition that we can enjoy, it's not going to be as good as it was last year, is on the 8th of December 2022, when it's going to be within the constellation of Taurus. So it's going to be really high up in our sky, but it's not going to be quite as big as it was last year. But I'm still going to look forward to that. On the 3rd of February, in the early hours of the morning, the moon passes very close or just north of the bright star Spica in Virgo. So that's something you can have a look out for. So here's Libra, Corvus and Crater constellations there as well. And then the 5th of February marks the 50th anniversary of Apollo 14 landing at Fraumauro crater. 50 years ago. Doesn't seem that long, really. So here it is. Here's where they actually landed. So this is Fraumauro crater. And of course, this is a very, very good area to image because it not only does it show Apollo 14 landing site, it also shows the landing site of Apollo 12, the second moon landing as well. And that's just over here beneath these two craters. And it's also where Surveyor 3 landed a couple of years before they did. And so they had a really pinpoint landing close to Surveyor 3, and they took bits off the lander and brought them back to Earth for them to study and see what 2 years on the lunar surface had done to the hardware. So fantastic 50th anniversary of Apollo 14 this month. On the 6th of February, get up in the early hours of the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and you'll see a lovely crescent moon situated just above Antares in Scorpius. So there's Scorpius, and that's Antares, and a couple of constellations, Libra, which used to be part of the Scorpion, and then Ophiuchus, which is also one of those wonderful zodiacal constellations that they never mention in horoscopes or anything like that, which is rather strange. On the 10th of February, in the early hours of the morning, about 10 to 3, but it's starting to get low in the northwestern sky now, is the variable star Algol. So this is a star that varies in brightness, and it's because there's two stars actually going around each other. And then occasionally one will go in front of the other one, and so it blocks off the light from the other star. And because they're two different brightnesses of stars, you get two different dips. But the biggest one is this one. So here's Perseus. That's Cassiopeia over there. There's the sword handle, the double cluster in Perseus as well. And you've got Taurus with the Pleiades over here. And this is the star in question, Algol. There it is. So it's a naked eye star. You can see it with the naked eye. It's known as the demon star, and it has been for a long time because ancient people knew that this star varied in brightness. As I said, it's easily visible to the naked eye, and it's usually about plus 2.1 magnitude. But at the times I've pointed out here, at 2:50 on the 10th of February, it fades to about plus 3.4. And you can easily see that change with the naked eye. And if you take a picture of it at that time and then take a picture of it at another time, you'll be able to see the difference in your photographs. So you can see changes in the sky just by using the naked eye or just a simple camera. 13th of February, 6 o'clock in the evening, look low in the western sky after sunset, and you should be able to see an extremely thin crescent moon. You will need a very low western horizon, but you'll be rewarded by seeing this lovely thin crescent moon sitting there in the twilight. And then the next evening, it's moved away a little bit further. It's a little bit of a thicker crescent, but again, it should make a really, really wonderful view on the 14th. And you should be able to see that earth shine on the dark side of the moon, illuminating that really, really nicely, especially as it gets a bit lower in the sky and this twilight gets a bit darker and the sky's a bit darker. That should stand out really nicely on the 14th. By the 19th of February, the moon has moved around, and the southwestern sky, the moon passes south of M45, so you can keep an eye on that up until midnight when the moon sets. But it's south of the Pleiades star cluster in Taurus, and of course you're not going to see the nebulosity because the moonlight is going to interfere quite a bit. So there's the Pleiades, and of course we've got the V-shaped Hyades here as well. And there's Aldebaran, the red eye of the ball, sitting in the star cluster. And of course Mars isn't too far away either, so that is going to be hanging around for quite a while. 25th of February, visible all night, the moon passes north of Praesepe, Messier 44, the open star cluster in Cancer. Wonderful, wonderful star cluster, great for observing with binoculars. So get out there and have a look and see if you can see the cluster with the moon. It's going to be very bright, so it will swamp the cluster somewhat, but get out there and have a look. And then the 26th of February, the moon passes north of Regulus. So here's Regulus, the heart of the lion. Here's Cancer up here. Remember, it was north of Praesepe, which is just under me here. And then Hydra, the head of Hydra, just down here as well. Okay, so that's the highlights to look out for the month. Again, my sky diary is available on TeamUp, stargazing.co.uk with a /diary. And you can download the app and carry the calendar around with you. Okay, hope you found that useful. Don't forget the Virtual Astronomy Club, Keeping Astronomy Sociable, is on the first and the third Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. And this month's meetings are on the 2nd of February and the 16th of February. And all details on how to join, everyone's welcome, is on the Virtual Astronomy website, virtualastroclub.com, with hyphens in between. Okay, don't forget, if you found it useful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my video, and keep looking up, folks. Take care. Bye.